Toyota's new mid-size sedan, the Yaris, packs in safety and features from a segment above. We drive it in Bangalore to find out if it can hit above its weight.
If you haven't been bitten by the SUV bug and you want a traditional family sedan, well, Toyota has a car for you and it's called the Yaris. Now it slots in between the more compact Etios and the more premium Corolla Altis, and that leaves it in the middle to take on the likes of the Honda City, Maruti Suzuki Ciaz and the Hyundai Verna. Now, is this all-new car in India good enough to take the fight to these segment leaders? Well, that's what we're here in Bangalore to find out.
For starters, 7 airbags are offered across the range on the new Yaris. Not just as an optional extra, but as standard. That's a game changer. And Toyota needs to make that kind of statement, considering they're late to the B segment party. The generation Yaris sedan is sold in other South Asian markets and goes back to around 5 years prior, though it was facelifted last year. That facelift brought with it wonderfully expressive headlights with halogen projector elements. The new Toyota family face utilizes Toyota's under-priority catamaran design philosophy. A row of LED daytime running lights sit at the top of that hull. Viewed in profile, the Yaris looks slightly top-heavy. The 15-inch wheels and 185/60 Goodyear tires don't really help matters, though they probably help efficiency. The rear tail lights get classy LED brow lines and fins that are said to help with aerodynamics, improving stability at speed. The Yaris is based on Toyota's B platform and is smaller than the competition in every way except in width. The Yaris does get a bunch of segment firsts, like sound deadening and UV reducing glass, 4-wheel disc brakes, a roof-mounted rear AC vent, front and rear parking sensors, 8-way electrically adjustable driver's seat, gesture control infotainment, and a tire pressure monitoring system. This apart from a CVT option right from the base variant. The cabin is spacious and feels it, helped by a large glass area and light upholstery. The dash is covered in plastic, though the molded stitching looks like leather at first glance. An 8-inch touchscreen with DVD player is provided on the VX trim, which has Apple integration only, apart from Bluetooth, HDMI connectivity and USB port for charging. There's a thoughtful slim cutout for your phone right next to the handbrake, 2 cup holders in the central tunnel, space for bottles in the doors and a cooled glove box. There are 2 12-volt charging points for the rear and 1 up front, though more USB charging points would have been welcome. Fitting 3 adults on the rear bench would be easy thanks to the flat floor. If you're over 5'10", you'll probably find your head brushing up against the headliner.
So under the hood of the Yaris is a 1.5-litre engine that used to be offered on the Etios Lever TRD. This engine has been retuned for Indian use and it makes about 107 bhp and 140 Newton meters of torque. Now the interesting thing is, and we've actually noticed it while driving the car, it's clearly been tuned for fuel efficiency because Toyota claims 17.8 kmpl for the CVT version that we're driving now and 17.1 for the manual. So obviously then this engine has been tuned to get the best mileage for your rupee.
Toyota says a diesel engine isn't in consideration yet. Our test car came with a 7-speed preset CVT transmission with paddle shifters, though a 6-speed manual is also available.
Only drawback that we can find of this transmission is its reluctance to pick up speed in lower gears, especially first and second. And like we said, this has probably been done in the interest of fuel efficiency. But once you get past those speeds, And if you just take it easy on the throttle, I think the Yaris responds quite nicely.
Under regular city driving conditions, the gearbox impresses with smooth shifts between each preset. Though the typical CVT rubber band effect is felt when you put your foot down, and even then the engine isn't exciting, so to speak.
Power delivery of this motor can best be described as linear and not much else actually. There's not a lot happening at low speed, but as the speeds increase, the feeling of responsiveness from the engine does too. At a steady 100 kmph on the highway, the engine is just below 2000 RPM, which makes it a super relaxed cruiser, and that goes back to that fuel efficiency tuning that we spoke about. Another factor that contributes to fuel efficiency is the very low curb weight of this car of just over 1100 kilos, and this is the top end model with all the bells and whistles. Surprisingly, the steering feel doesn't really let you know that it's a light car. Its steering is actually really well weighted and gives you a very reassuring feel even when you're out on the highway. We've taken it past a steady highway speed, and it feels just superbly confidence inspiring. We think the standout feature for the Yaris has to be the ride comfort. The suspension has been retuned for India. We've been told that they've added a little more ground clearance in there for our conditions. But the way the dampers respond to irregularities on our roads is actually quite astounding. Even at highway speeds, you go into a dip and the car does not wallow. It gives you, like I said, a feeling of confidence.
Body roll is similarly controlled on lane changes, and the Yaris has a way of making you forget what speeds you're doing. On our drive through the Nandi Hills in Bangalore, we found an easy controlled pace worked best. With disc brakes all round on the VX model we drove, bite from the initial travel off the pedal is strong but not overpowering so as to make modulation tough. We like the fact that the Yaris doesn't try too hard to be an all-rounder. This means it concentrates on being comfortable and safe. Sure, we do wish the engine had more punch for overtakes, but the driving experience is otherwise stress-free. For a family sedan that will likely be driven sedately, the Yaris could make things hard for its competitors if the price is right.